Infection-Free Zone is our upcoming post-apocalyptic city builder game, played on real-world maps. That means you can select almost any real region to play on, including your closest neighborhood, to utilize your knowledge of the region. It all starts with choosing the perfect location for your HQ. This is the center of your operations and the living place for the core citizens. What's the main difference between Infection-Free Zone and other city builder games is how new buildings are constructed. Instead of building them from the ground up, we rather adapt existing buildings for new needs. To complete your construction, new citizens will gather resources from nearby parks or other buildings that need to be deconstructed or demolished. Squads are there to fight for you and to explore the unknown. In the early game, your squad members are going to scavenge all the nearby buildings next to your zone and clear any potential threats. When night comes, the time of the infected starts. The infected act more like vampires than humans. The sunlight hurts them, so they hide in the shadows during the day, but when night comes, they roam through the map, engaging any living creatures on their way. Build up walls and towers for additional defenses, or run down the infected with vehicles. Apart from scavenging and settlement construction, you also operate a radio. This is how your squads will contact you, and how you also receive calls from outsiders. Stay tuned for more upcoming content in the next months. See you soon.
This is one of the most ambitious and promising games I've played this year. Well, hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome to our first look at a big new update for a game known as Infection-Free Zone. And as the name would imply, this game actually is free right now on Steam. As of July 27, 2023, there's a big new update, and that's what we're taking a look at here today. And this game is not yet complete, doesn't even have a release date, but has a really cool demo and a lot of great gameplay features so far. Now, imagine Project Zomboid, but you get to pick any neighborhood or major city on Earth, and all the things that you would find there, like pharmacies, grocery stores, hospitals, police departments, those are all on the map, and they give different loot, as you would imagine. Just like in Project Zomboid, if you go to the gun store or the police station, they're likely to have those things, and if you go to the hospital, they're likely to have, things like medicine and sheets and other things like that you'd need in order to make bandages or medicine or whatnot. And this game simulates that really well. Now, this latest update has a lot of fixes to the UI, the AI, and is a massively open world game, of course, because you have access to the entire world. Yeah, anywhere you can choose to build and take back neighborhood by neighborhood, block by block, and then eventually provide your citizens with an infection-free zone. Almost utopias in what would be considered, I guess, a post-apocalyptic survival game. The apocalypse is basically over, but there's still zombie hordes out there, and it's up to you to essentially clear out buildings, then fortify a city block, and then continue to expand like you would in They Are Billions, and then do things like farming, try to find fuel and vehicles to then bring in more survivors, and eventually establish communication and make a colony that other people can trade with in your infection-free zone. Well, this game's really, really astounding, too, at how wonderfully detailed some of the maps are. If we take a look here at literally Manhattan in New York in the United States, look at that. A massive area that's like instantly loaded in from like Google Maps or whatnot. And as I had mentioned, it loads in every street, Grand Street and all the different tunnels and all the different bridges, and also all the rail lines too. So if you wanted to go build near a train station that you pass by every day, or your workplace or home, or someplace you've been, you can do that. Now, it of course is a really interesting thing to fortify places like Disney World, the White House, and also Ellis Island, and I think we've also done Alcatraz and many other European castles too. So you name it, we've probably done it in previous episodes. So let me know down below in the comments section where you think would be a great place to fortify, like Area 51, all this talk of aliens recently. Yeah, we've done that too. We've retaken military bases, like I mentioned, castles and major cities. And also, this is going to be the most challenging playthrough we've ever done, because the game now takes into account large urban areas providing a lot more hordes of zombies. Obviously, if you do Area 51, yeah, there's going to be quite a few zombies out there, military personnel, but it's not going to be anywhere near like New York City and the surrounding areas, and or international airports, which is another great thing to do as well with, I think, JFK over here somewhere. I think that might be it there. So yeah, very interesting, very cool, very great game with a lot of promise, a lot of potential, a lot of things that they're trying to do here. and they do it well. I think we're going to go ahead and settle this area where it is just on the south side of Central Park. Now, this is an interesting part of the game. A lot of people might blow past this and just jump right in and not really take into account all the things that you can see just from this map here. From this point of view, we can see, of course, that there's going to be a ton of urban area, tons of skyscrapers, tons of big buildings, but also that we're at the south side of Central Park, which is important because when it comes time to farming, we're not going to be farming on top of a parking garage. We actually have some fertile soil from Central Park. So at the start, we have a lot of buildings and a lot of dangerous areas where the zombies can be and where they can approach us from, but eventually we can fortify, like I mentioned, Central Park, and then start farming and fortifying that area too, and maybe finding other survivors from around like the Queensboro Bridge and other areas like that, or the train station down here too, where all the train lines come through. I think this map's really well done. I think the developers have a lot of things coming down the pipe. We've live streamed this, we put out a lot of videos, and even though this is a tiny little demo, there's certainly a lot to do and explore. So again, let me know all the locations you'd like to see down below, or that you have ideas for. Let me know your thoughts and opinions, and let's go ahead and get started. Thanks again for leaving a like, and thank you very much for subscribing. All right, let's survive those zombie hordes, shall we?
Is gone. What we called the mad virus appeared out of nowhere. It made people turn extremely violent, aggressive, and unrestrainable. Soon later, the infected became bloodthirsty, more like vampires than human. There was chaos, panic, and war for survival. Desperate people were just as dangerous as the virus itself. Even our loved ones could become a threat. The infection spread quickly throughout the entire globe. Every region, every country, every city. Drastic measures were taken to get rid of the infected, but they all failed. The last chance for those who seemed immune was to hide in underground shelters, ones that we improvised in garages and basements, loaded with food, water, and air filtration systems. These were the places where we survived, sealed from the outside. For so long, we waited for any signal, any info that a cure had been found, or the situation stabilized. Instead, we listened as the world grew quiet. Our resources were becoming depleted. Life support systems were failing. And just as we were losing all hope, we received a distant call.
To all survivors, the infection is in decline. Seek others and rebuild.
This was the impulse we needed. There were others out there. We could come back to the surface. No more hiding. From the ruins of the old world, we will build our new home.
Indeed we shall. All right, folks, welcome to New York and welcome to Manhattan. And let's go ahead and find ourselves Central Park. Oh, there it would be. All right, perfect. So we see a lot of great detail in these buildings, too. One of the things that catches my eye right away is, of course, what we experience with games like, for example, Microsoft Flight Sim from 2020, where it thinks that this building that clearly is a church, it tries to make into a commercial building. But I must say it looks pretty damn good, and the buildings at least try to have some sort of a detail, almost like what buildings you'd see in city skylines, like a modded-in building or whatnot. Maybe a little more scuffed than that, but of course they are supposed to look like they're destroyed. I mean, you can literally see all the broken glass, and of course the decaying, what looks to be rebar and concrete and stuff there. So the buildings look really nice, and so do all the streets. Now, this is very important. Our first step is to choose an HQ. Things like, for example, the street poles and the like trees and whatnot can all be used as a resource. So anywhere that we find a scrap car could possibly be a working vehicle. Some of these obviously not working as well as others, but we could find a car in the streets. We could find a bunch of trees, an area to farm, and lots of scrap metal too from a bunch of derelict cars and or a large amount of street lights, like near a highway or whatnot. Well, we have some choices in order to where to build our base and where to settle. I think here might be a good spot because we've got several buildings in a row and lots of smaller buildings to check. Now, when we start, we're going to get a scout team that can then move from building to building, and we can get a second one too, so these smaller buildings might benefit us a little bit more. And I think our first goal is to try to get a building that can accommodate 40 people. So, and I don't think we can start with a building that can accommodate 40. So we've basically got to find it that way. I've also noticed too, because of the detail in this map, my controls are a little bit delayed too, where if I'm looking at an area for a little bit, if I try to scroll the camera, it'll lock up just for a second, then goes right back to being smooth. So the game must be loading in and out assets as it goes along. But yeah, you could basically defend Times Square here. A lot of the buildings are, of course, procedurally generated or randomly generated by the game, but still taking into account satellite photos and whatnot. So a lot of these buildings may look like this in real life. Maybe even they're very close to having the same color and shape, but a lot of them, I imagine, are slightly off in their design. But hey, gotta really hand it to the game for trying to make a building that looks like it would exist in modern-day New York. And yeah, modern cities might be a little more glass, a little bit more concrete, but these definitely seem like they're buildings from anywhere from like the 50s, 30s, 60s, who knows. So the game did a good job of at least giving them the right skins. All right, I think we're going to settle right over here at the corner at this club. Let's go ahead and choose this one and start looking for survivors. Incoming transmission.
Operator, this is First Squad Leader. We made our way out. The neighborhood looks deserted. We'll have to scavenge the nearby buildings for any useful resources.
Roger that. Let's get to it.
Okay. Find something to eat as fast as possible.
Receiving. On my way.
All right, let's start searching next door. Go ahead and start on that big building, and we'll go ahead and get another squad out. So you can see all the things that we have here: food, ammunition, steel, wood, and guns.
Operator.
Also, we can find those things in other buildings too, so we can bring back food and ammo. And you can also see it laid out up here at the top. And then, of course, there's different types of food. We have like raw food, canned food. We have ammo, different types of guns, from sniper rifles, assault rifles, and also shotguns. We have fuel and different type of construction materials, to where we can build different things like different walls. So if we click on fortifications, we can make wooden walls, we can make metal walls, we can even make a large brick wall and a fortified wall, which seems to be like concrete, and barbed wire too, to slow down enemy movement. We can build warehouses and shelters. We can build all sorts of things for food production and processing, field and greenhouses for growing crops, barns and butcheries and cookhouses and canning factories too, to preserve things longer. We have tool factories, chemical plants, sawmills, and defensive towers too, which I think we're going to go ahead and get started with by putting at the end of this street here. Now you can see the street light next to the tower, so we'll be able to mine that a little bit later. So that'll be a good thing for us to do. And we'll go ahead and build this tower right about there. I'm trying to see if I can get it to rotate. If we left click and hold, we can rotate it. There we go. And that should be good enough. All right, now our citizens can come out to build only during the daytime. So you see the group of people with the green rings under them. Those are the builders who can come out during the day. And we're going to need a lot more wood in order to occupy and refurbish certain buildings and kind of reformat them to be what we want. So we'll see how that goes. Now, an interesting thing about Central Park here, we actually have some buildings that we can fortify down here too. And of course, the zombies can't really walk through water. We've created a pretty good choke point where the enemy can only come at us from, if we zoom out here, we can see the map again where we started. We're just kind of in the southeast corner of Central Park. So
Chief, I will speak on behalf of the other citizens.
this would be east up here.
Let us go and adapt the buildings to suitable shelters, so we won't spend a single more night underground.
Good idea.
Yes, that sounds like a good idea.
Now you can actually see the cone where our scouts are, where they're up high enough to where the cone is coming down from the building to the street. So they have a little bit of line of sight and also the ability to shoot at zombies that happen to be in that cone too. Wow, look at that. Birds actually passing through. Look at that. Amazing. Wow, nice little detail there. Of course, more scrapped cars and whatnot. But as I was mentioning, so up at the top of the screen is east, so below is west, and then of course we have north and south. And it looks like the enemy will mostly be able to attack from north, south, and east, but the west side down here is going to be mostly blocked, except for over here and maybe in between.
Construction complete.
And maybe a little bit on this side too. Hey, a tower's up. Fantastic. Now the thing about the towers is that it also takes weapons, so we better find some more guns. We can't endlessly make towers because our people won't be able to shoot. So you can see that they're stocking it up now with workers and ammo. So it has 200 rounds, 2 workers. We have no guns in there yet, so they're either transporting it or we need to find some. They might be putting it in the tower now. There they go. Now we have, yep, 2 guns ready to go. Perfect. Fantastic. All right. So now our scouts are continuing to scour the buildings for things like canned food, maybe ammunition, maybe they can find other weapons.
Roger.
And we can see the progress, too, how painfully slow it takes to actually search all these buildings. They're searching, 20, 30 floors of cubicles and back offices and maintenance rooms. And so it's going to be, and possibly parking garages and things below the building. So the game does a good job of calculating building size into how long it's going to take to actually be able to do that. Yeah, and in this case, we have about almost 1,200 yards, square yards of space to explore.
We're ready.
Looks like we found some canned food. Let's bring it back.
Going there. Sir, the sun is getting low. We don't know what's going to happen during the night. We can continue our scavenging operations in the dark, but that will be way more dangerous than waiting until sunrise.
No, we want to keep scavenging. Keep it up.
Carry on. We need those resources.
Sir, it is too dangerous for unarmed civilians to work after nightfall. Everyone will return home.
Okay, let's be safe.
All right, so the people chopping down wood are going back in to be safe. You can see we have 40 wood and 10 metal, and our scouts have returned.
Waiting orders.
Now, our scouts have guns, and they can also have machetes, and our HQ can be attacked.
My way.
And in previous versions of this game, one of the new features is the ability to actually be able to repair the base. Before, it was just like anytime you take damage, that was pretty much it. And that would be the end of the demo once you reach 0. Now the developers have put it in so you can repair, which is a really nice thing. Really nice. All right, they want us to turn on resource view now to be able to see things out there. So we can see every little building that we can investigate to see what might be there. And we have the ability now to scavenge buildings, which we've been doing, and trying to scavenge cans and return them back to the base too. So we need to continuously find up to 4. We need to also adapt a building for living quarters. So let's go ahead and do that with this building here, if we can.
Horde spotted.
We're going to go ahead and convert that to a shelter. Enemy units inbound. We have a horde.
Sir, just saw a group of infected. They might not be aware of our presence yet.
Make sure you fight.
Get ready to fight.
They might come close and we'll shoot at them on the first night, but definitely by the second night they'll find us and close in. An interesting thing about the zombies here is that they'll occupy buildings during the daytime, so they'll move around during night, and then they're actually smart enough to go inside and sit inside of a building before it's nighttime again.
Infected incoming.
The horde will continue to mosey around. We're going to stay next to the HQ and defend it as well as the tower, and we'll see how that goes. Now, the developers have previously not allowed for research, but now it looks like we can do research into communication, chemistry, and arms production. We can make pistols, assault rifles, sniper rifles, and we can make some of the things via chemistry that might be required to make those, including the powder here for ammunition production, and communications too. So we might be able to do some trading and or try to attract more immigrants to the game, which is kind of a new feature to be able to work on that. So that's pretty cool. A lot of cool stuff going on here. All right, there's our objectives. Some of the other things that are neat to build under the other tab is a temple research center, hospital med bay, and an antenna that will allow us to communicate with the outside world. So not too much longer, we should be able to do that.
On your command.
All right, let's speed up time as we're waiting for the people to clear their rooms.
Horde spotted. We're on the move.
That building's 100%, so we'll go to the next one.
Hostiles inbound.
Looks like there's 2 hordes there moving away. Horde coming in. No.
Horde spotted.
Ooh. Wow, there's 4, 5, 6 hordes out there now. Oh boy. Yeah, branching out here is going to be very tough. But because of some of these large buildings, we have a better chance of finding good weapons. They breached a building.
Receiving. Horde spotted.
One of our squads is fighting with them now.
We're under attack.
Somebody wounded. That's all right. We'll get medical supplies.
Horde spotted.
Keep searching.
Another one incoming.
Wow, there are a lot of hordes out here. Now remember, this is the hardest difficulty because of the density of the area. So kind of cool that, again, if you, I don't know, settle out in some desert on Route 66 next to an old drive-in movie theater, probably going to be 4 zombies. But as you would expect, downtown, I don't know, Shanghai, Hong Kong, Tokyo, London, Chicago, those are all going to be major urban areas with lots of people. But lots more supplies, a lot more things that you could find. All right, let's speed up time here.
Infected incoming!
People are going out to log again. Eventually we can make palisades here, and the horde is going back inside to hide.
This night was easy, but there are sure to be some infected around here. We should build some defenses before the next nightfall.
Yeah, I agree with that. We've already built a watchtower.
Agreed. Let's build a wooden tower.
So the game does not check, it seems, to see whether or not you've already built a tower. Now, if we build another one, we'll need more guns in order to man that tower or disband the other search team, but we certainly don't want to do that. Looks like this team on the left is almost done. Good on the devs for showing that our group is in cover by being inside these buildings and showing the progress bar of how long
Roger. We're ready.
they've been spending on gathering things.
Sir, the crates are in the HQ. There might be some more resources nearby. I suggest we scavenge some more locations.
Good idea.
Great. Any stock will come in handy.
All right, do it to it.
Going there.
So I've had it happen before where random vehicles will be abandoned on the road, and of course you can put all of your troops in there.
There are signs of smoke.
Ooh.
It's coming out of a building. I think there might be some people there. I recommend we go and investigate.
That's close by, just next to the park.
Let's investigate.
Uh-oh, we gotta go through Horde City. But yeah, interestingly enough, vehicles work really well in this game for allowing you to move very quickly
Roger.
and do so on squad-based level. I believe it also gives you more storage space, so I think you can drop things off, unless I'm confusing that with
We're on the move.
Surviving the Aftermath, where your people can return to a vehicle, drop things off, and then go back out again. And then when they, of course, are full, then you can have them pile into the car and return to base.
We're on the move.
A vehicle is much faster and much safer than traveling on foot, but maybe a lot less reliable. See what we got here.
Chief, we found some survivors. They've been living in terrible conditions for the last few years. We could bring them in, but will we be able to feed them?
Probably not, but we need them.
Bring them in.
And let's search this building while we're here. Group of survivors there might have machetes. So kind of cool, commanding things like an RTS, but also like a little bit of a city builder and a base builder too. We're building a city essentially by walling off a pre-existing area. Uh-oh. It's too late.
Going there.
They're taking cover in that building. We better do the same.
Hostiles inbound.
Looks like we found another gun.
Horde spotted. Sir, it's almost nightfall. We can already see some infected coming out of their lairs. Horde spotted.
This is very bad.
Okay. Get ready to defend
On
the
your
zone.
command. Roger. Horde spotted.
They're not going to be able to fight off that many zombies.
Building clear. We're ready.
No way, they're doing it.
Reporting. Going there.
3 zombie hordes are inside that building.
Ready for action.
Although they're very weak. Our squad's very low on ammo. Wow, they held off. I can't believe it.
Horde. Waiting orders.
Yeah, hold here together.
We're ready. We're on the move.
Oh, now they're attacking the HQ. It's a damn ruse. You guys are smarter than the Germans in World War II. What the hell? Like the Blitz. We gotta defend the HQ.
Going there. Roger.
Alright, I don't think we can get the other people back. We gotta hold in two positions. Defend the base and defend the survivors. Let's see if we can shoot at them from the HQ. There we go. Good job.
Port, spotted. Port eliminated. Another one incoming.
Wow, we should get something for
Receiving.
eliminating all these hordes like that. I don't think we can command the other groups, so we do have to stay with them and protect them. I can't give them orders, I think. Neutral group. Yeah, I have no control over their movement. We need to kind of babysit them and the HQ. Another horde. All right.
Port spotted.
Well, it's almost 5 a.m. So far, so good.
Infected incoming.
A group of infected passing that way.
Port spotted.
Oh, they're doing a good job. Oh, good. The survivors are moving back.
We're on the. Roger.
Actually, we almost done damaging.
Ready for action.
Now let's return with our gun.
Chief, many
On
of
my
our
way.
workers don't have any jobs. Send them to gather resources, to construct or to work at some of the buildings.
Good idea.
We're gonna see.
Chief, the survivors that we took in, they have some important info that we could use. They speak of various kinds of infected animals that they encountered.
Uh-oh.
And other groups of survivors, too. But they've lost people recently. It'll take some time for them to integrate. Let me find some jobs and shelter for them.
Great idea. Let them rest.
Okay,
Area
let them rest.
All right, more wood, please. And maybe another tower. We'll at least be able to put a guard in it.
Are starving.
People are starving. Ah, they sure are. We're trying to bring back as much food as we can. It's kind of all on the luck of the draw. If we find a grocery store, good stuff. Go build a second guard tower there if we can. That's fine. Only 10 wood, not bad.
Operator.
Get our scouts going again.
Going there. On my way. We're ready. Roger.
Okay, good. All right, we also got to convert another building for additional people to live in. Yeah, we really need food. Convert the second building to a shelter. There we go. Alright, just waiting for that night now. Build that tower. Cut down them trees.
To all members, the infected is in decline. Seek others and rebuild.
Oh.
Building.
Clear.
We need more resources.
Chief, this is the same transmission we received before, but the signal is even weaker. Our walkie-talkies are not powerful enough for long-range communication. We have to build a large antenna. A local library or university would be a good place to search for information on how to make it work.
Local library. Okay.
Let's go there.
Alright, so that's our next goal, is to send a squad out to get technical books. Oh, that's such a long distance.
We've got them. Reporting. Building clear.
So far, so good.
Ready? Port spotted. We're on the move. Port spotted.
Oh, here they come.
Port spotted. On your going there. Port spotted. Clear. Roger. We're ready.
One squad's down a man.
Spotted. On my way.
They're retreating away from the HQ. I'm not sure why they left the HQ.
Inspection clear. Going there. Another one incoming.
That building is down.
Wow.
Port spotted.
Good work.
Hostiles inbound.
Alright, our people are getting back to work. Alright, so we've lost a squad. I'm not sure why they ran from the building like that. They could run in a panic. I think that may be why they ran away. We can still recruit somebody, though.
Operator. Receiving.
We finished construction.
Well, there should be a way to add more people. I think we'll just disband the group and create a new one.
Reporting.
And we did lose a handgun from that tower, but we should get that back. But it's better than having people wounded.
Red.
We're out of food.
We're up. Operator. Roger. Waiting orders. Chief, we found some seeds in one of the buildings. It looks like grain. There were some farming tools as well. Maybe we could use this to start cultivating the land again.
Okay.
Okay, bring that in.
We should have a place where we can cook meals for our citizens.
Right.
This will make our people much happier, too.
Okay, so now we can start farming and cooking.
Okay, let's build a cookhouse.
We'll need those technical books too, but that's going to be a little bit of a stretch. Let's get food going right away. They want us to build 5 fields. Well, I was about to say it'd be nice if we could click and drag, and lo and behold, here we can.
We're running out of stock.
Clear.
Maybe we better build more than that. Looks like because there's a tree in the way there. There we go. We'll do 6 fields instead, and we'll make them defended by that tower.
Infected incoming. We're ready. Going there.
Let's keep scouting for stuff.
Port. On my way.
Kind of weird sometimes that our people have to walk all the way to the back of a building. They always seem to have like one entrance.
Going there. Another one incoming. We need backup. Requesting support. We need help. Waiting orders.
Oh, wow. The game encountered an error and should not be continued. Please describe what you did. What do you mean? Wait, what? I didn't do nothing. I'm overrun. That's the error. Holy hell. All right, yeah, so they've blown through the tower down by the farm fields.
Hostiles
They chewed
inbound.
through one of our scouts, and
Reporting.
yeah, if we'd gotten lucky with maybe like, I could see this scenario being survivable if we found like maybe, and it's like a 1% chance to find an assault rifle, but if we were able to find like 6 assault rifles, create 2 squads, and be able to hold them off with tons of ammo,
We are out of resources.
that's the only way. Seriously, for this being a very hard scenario. Now again, remember this crazy amount of constant hordes because of all of this, like the non-stop buildings all around
Horde
us,
spotted.
and hordes coming in from other areas. Not to mention down by the rail yard, where let's see what might be going on down there.
Horde spotted.
Oh, looks like it's just more buildings. All right, well, this is gonna be last stand.
Receiving.
Unless we can get up to that technical building before night.
We're on the move.
But I doubt even if we go first thing in the morning, we'll be able to get there. Apparently it takes an hour to walk down one New York block. I mean, it takes a while, but not an hour. I'd say maybe about 10 minutes if you were going slow and on the lookout for danger.
Chief, we just found a dead animal, but the thing is, it was literally shredded to pieces. It couldn't just be some ordinary infected. There are teeth marks on its skin. They look like dog teeth.
Oh, yeah. Infected dogs and other things will eventually
Stay
attack us. So we're not just dealing with the regular hordes. But hey, look at this. We have a building, what looks to be marked as market, I think. Oh, it's bakery. It's marked as bakery. So we might be able to find food there. Got to be on the lookout for clues and cues like that. Yeah, our people certainly are starving. The unfortunate thing is it's going to take a while to make those fields, and then once they're done, it's going to take them a while to process all that grain and grow the grain, and to build our cookhouse, of course. So let's build that somewhere nearby. We have to actually put that in a building. Can't just build it on the ground. It has to be an already existing converted building, which is kind of cool. Kind of cool. Where's our squad? Getting a little nervous.
Operator,
Oh, looks like they found a book. Oh, they already found what they needed.
we're ready.
All right, come on back to HQ then.
Roger.
All right, we got a group making a cookhouse. We got trees being cut down in Central Park. We got our HQ and additional housing. All we need to do now is build a palisade, but that's going to be a very long goal. But as I was mentioning before, it is a little annoying how buildings only have like one entry
I
point.
need more resources.
So even though there's a skyscraper on the corner, apparently it only has one door. So if somebody's going to enter it, it's going to be from one position, which is good for us if we're against the zombies.
Area cleared.
Oh. We need a workspace where we can experiment and re-engineer all the pre-pandemic technology. We should store all the books here too. Let's build a research center and assign the most technical minds there. Ah, that's new. Alright, we're going to do that. Let's build a research center too. Maybe in one of the buildings next door. Right there. Okay, so we're building our cookhouse, we're building our research center, we've got our bunks and our HQ.
Receiving. Horde spotted. Horde, spotted.
Oh boy. Now, I've seen the creature that we can fight before that is the one that chewed into the side of the deer, and it's certainly like a super dog, which makes you think there could be things in the future like a super bear. Or imagine this, a zoo. An infection breaking out at a zoo.
Heads up, there are some
Oh,
infected
no.
dogs incoming fast.
Yeah, there's dogs, and they get even worse. Well, let's engage, because
Shoot them down.
we're already at the base.
Horde spotted.
There they come, the doggos. Imagine if we start to see zoo creatures. Elephants, bears. Bears riding elephants, or God forbid, elephants riding bears. Let's see if we can withstand this attack.
Another one incoming.
Well, there's the horde. And they're doing Thriller.
They're breaking into our building.
There with the doggos.
got them.
Got him. Now we got to repair the HQ after some damage like that, but we should be okay for now.
Operator.
And we do have plenty of ammo at the base. We got 2.4 ammunition crates.
On your command.
And they're not necessarily attacking our group, they're attacking the building.
Infection clear.
Hold the line. Well, they should be okay. The enemy can't get inside the base.
They're gone.
And one more squad, or one more horde.
Our building's under attack.
Fine, I think we did it. They're just trying to... Oh, another one. Oh, big. Oh, that's a pretty big horde. Might be easier to see from up here. Certainly would like to play more zoomed in, but in Escape like New York,
Spotted.
not an Escape from New York, but an
They're
N
breaking into our building.
Escape. This is how it'd be like.
Eliminated.
That looks like they went across the street. Let's go get them.
On my way. This house is infected.
Got them.
We're on the move.
I think it's best we stay at the base, get that food going. Kind of hard at the beginning here. We have like literally no food, and it takes a very long time to actually go out and find that stuff. Let's gather some metal. Cars there, street lights, people. Small town girl. Now we're just down to wood and metal now.
We're out of food.
Yeah, we sure are. Now we can scout these buildings, but it takes so long.
Going there.
We're at 87% on this one. Let's try to see if we can finish it up.
Construction complete.
Ready for...
We are out.
Roger.
Found some ammo. I see, hear people cutting down trees. And they might also be cutting down some of those street lights and breaking down those cars. So we have metal coming in.
We need more resources.
Reporting.
And another night in the bag. Well, pretty soon.
Wrap it up, folks. Time to call it a day.
Oh, incoming attack.
Horde spotted. On your command. On my way. Hostiles inbound. Waiting. We're on the move.
Back to the HQ. They know where we live.
Horde,
All right, 2 more inbound. The squad's doing a pretty good job of holding the base. The only problem is I don't know if the AI can actually find a path to the HQ anymore. So they're attacking other buildings. Okay, the cookhouse is ready. Which is interesting because it's like raining at 3 a.m.
We're empty. No ammo. Out of ammo.
All right, we're completely out of ammo. We're going to have to fight with machetes. Look at that. Constant horde attacks like that certainly makes this one of the more challenging scenarios. Now, at the main menu, the developers do use Solid and try to give you a few other opportunities for where you could actually make a base, other nations and points of interest that are a little more handcrafted. There are parts of the map where the developers have, I believe, taken a little more care in the game and tried to make it a more handcrafted experience by going through and moving monuments around and things that actually exist. And Microsoft Flight Sim did that, for example, where things were procedurally generated, but then they went through and did handcrafted airports and many other assets, which makes it a lot more interesting. So the next order of business is to build an antenna, and that might allow us to start doing trading and whatnot, and our research center too. So these buildings, again, are built inside the pre-existing buildings. So the fact that we've built here with a lot of little row houses, these are the types of buildings I think you truly want. They can house a few people, and they're all right next door to each other, and they're pretty fortifiable. Good health, good size, not too hard to renovate, and you can build them all within the same area. So, of course, we could build like a factory and multiple greenhouses and stuff all within one block. There is the ability in the game now, I believe, to partially like divide a building. So you should be able to take a larger building like this and turn it into a greenhouse or like a cookhouse too. If there's ways to do that and provide electricity, then you have yourself a greenhouse, and that's pretty cool. But hey, a lot of damn potential here. A lot, and I really like it. That's all the time for today for Defending New York, an infection-free zone. Again, check it out on Steam, as the game will more than likely get free updates and whatnot over time. Again, this is just a demo of a game that has no release date, and the devs are still working on what they want to do. But man, those trailers look good on what they have planned and things that they're working on later on, including having vehicles for patrol and more advanced things to build in the base. And then, once you do it in one place, build somewhere else. It'd be really cool if we could build in one area and then build it somewhere else and have settlements that we build kind of trade with each other and build little colonies street by street and eventually take back the world. All right, thank you everybody for watching. Have yourself a good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And thank you very much for being a part of today's re-review of Infection Free Zone. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.